What is up, guys? It is Kevin back again with That Lifestyle Ninja, and today I'm going to be teaching you exactly how to find the top quality manufacturers via Alibaba, making sure that you're going to get the top quality products no matter what you're ordering, and how to protect yourself and make sure that you're not going to get screwed over. So let's kick it off. Just to make things a little bit more genuine, I basically just was looking around my room and to just choose kind of a random product for you guys just to do it from scratch to show you that it's basically the same process no matter which type of product you're selling. I noticed a cool little lava lamp I have over in the corner, so we are going to source that. And I've never looked for one in my life. I don't even know if they're on Alibaba, to be honest, but we are going to find out together. So let's look at this first one. Wow, 4,200 reviews. Obviously not necessarily a product you'd want to look at because it has a pretty big advantage, even though there's 60% rating. The first thing I like to do is hop down to the detailed section. So technical details, right? So just to save time, I already kind of dragged some of these over here to the manufacturer template I use, and I actually just give this to my virtual assistant. And I trained her kind of how to look for manufacturers on Alibaba, the ones that are quality, the ones you want to work with, and I'm going to walk you guys through the exact same process of how we do that right now. So the main things you want to look at, right? Obviously, product dimensions. Here we go. Color, material, right? They need to know what it's made out of. Power source, whether it's battery powered or electric. The wattage and the type of bulb. So just kind of the the basic stuff. You can look down here and see if there's anything else that looks like it might be important. And they're going to tell you if if they need clarification on things, but just try to come up with as much as you can, just to try to save as much back and forth as possible. So once you have kind of these product specs, right, and if you have a manufacturer template built out, it's a lot easier. We'll talk about this manufacturer template in a minute, but let's go over here and let's look at lava lamps. So how I like to look on Alibaba is actually not by products, but by suppliers. And the reason I don't look at products is because one supplier can offer multiple products, and you don't want to be sending the same template to multiple different product listings that are all routing to the same supplier. So just to save yourself even more time, head over to suppliers. Right, the two important ones here are Gold Supplier and Trade Assurance. And if you want definitions of those, just go ahead and look them up on Alibaba. They're pretty easy to find, right? 100% product quality protection, pre-qualified by Alibaba. And let's look through some of these, right? So these pictures are not what we're looking for, even though they're the top listing. So don't be confused by that, right? Right, here we go. So these are a little bit more like what we're looking for, right? These are lamps. It looks like they have some lava lamps, but it doesn't look like it is necessarily their main product. So let's skip that one. These are obviously just lamps. Right? It looks like these guys, their main product is lava lamps, or they're at least advertising it that way. Right? So let's look at probably at least 5. And once you have these kind of 5 companies up, right? Each one of them has kind of the same layout. It says the total revenue, their employees, right? You want to make sure that they have a reasonable amount of employees and revenue. Something that you can do before you really are going kind of to the next level is just grab their company name, throw it into Google, right, and see if this is actually matching up. So SunPay, right, it looks like they have a website. Yep, so it looks like they're real prototyping companies in China, experienced staff at technology, right, sales department, they have a video. It's not bad. Yeah, so you can do the same thing with each one, but basically what we're going to do here is just go ahead and click Contact Supplier. Right, and you'd want to do the same thing for all of these, right? Make sure that it's a real company. They're obviously doing big numbers. They have enough employees. We're going to go ahead and hit Contact Supplier. Contact Supplier. Do the same thing, Contact Supplier, and Contact Supplier. So now let's briefly talk about the manufacturer's template, right? So this is important. If you're going to be reaching out to a lot of different manufacturers, all the time to kind of get one of these made, right? It's going to save you a lot of time, especially if you have VAs working for you, because they can kind of just do the distribution for you, kind of do some of the tedious legwork, and it's really just plug and play. You just show them a URL to an Amazon listing, and they take the product details that they think are relevant, throw them into the product specs category, and then basically just get the same answers to the questions that we asked below, right? So one of the things, we're going to go through each of these really kind of step by step so you guys understand exactly why each one of these portions is here. So you want to portray yourself as a lead purchasing agent, right? You're not just a guy sitting in your underwear, chilling in your garage trying to buy a couple lava lamps. You're an international company, right? You're speaking on behalf of the CEO or the board of directors, right? You want to sound official. You want to make it sound like you are worth their time and that they want to offer you the lowest, best price they can to kind of win your long-term business, right? So about working together in a potential lucrative business venture, right? We're an international electric company based out of Silicon Valley here in California, right? Use these buzzwords. Maybe you're in New York, you want to make it sound like you're important, because these guys get tons of inquiries, 99% of which never actually, really form into anything at all. So they're definitely used to having their time wasted. So you want to make it sound like, you're not going to do that. So hit them quick, right? So we'd like to introduce ourselves and express an interest in creating a profitable partnership between our two companies. So I like to include the Amazon link. We would like a product similar to this link. And depending on where they are, they don't always have the ability to open these, but I always include it because it just saves so much time. And we're definitely going to, pull at least, this main picture, and we're going to actually attach it to every single one of our Alibaba emails. So product specs, and right, we just took these straight from the Amazon listing. Here they are, technical details. And then the questions, right? So you always want to number your questions. I've heard that in Chinese schools, children are kind of trained to answer things in numbered questions, and just trust me on this, guys. If you ask 3 questions and they aren't numbered, you're only going to get a response to your first question. Just believe me, I've contacted hundreds of suppliers. Always number it. Trust me on that. It really makes a huge difference. Right, so the first thing you want to do, can we get a sample of the product, right? How much are you going to charge to get that sample? DHL Express, shipped to, whatever your zip code is, and you're happy to cover or split, the shipping costs with PayPal. Do you have the ability to package the product in a custom packaging, right, with our logo? Because if you're gonna private label, you want to make sure that they either have the ability in-house to package your product, or they have a partner, a boxing or a packaging partner that can do that, just so you can kind of do a one-stop shop and not have to be incorporating numerous different manufacturers to get what you want as a final product. So what is the cost per unit, including FOB? And what FOB means, guys, is free on board or freight on board, depending on who you ask. And all that means is they charge a fee to get it from the Chinese factory to the port in China, right? So there's FOB, and the other one is EXW, which basically means they finished your lava lamps in this case, and they just leave it on their factory floor, and you have to handle everything else. So your freight forwarder picks it up at their factory, gets it to the port. So that's the only difference between those two. FOB is usually just a little bit easier. So an MOQ is minimum order quantity. So what is the cost for a minimum order quantity of 500 units and 5,000 units? We'd like to compare with both quantities. And this is important, guys, right? Because you want them to say the lowest possible price, right? So from your perspective, you want to take the least risk. So in a perfect world, you'd get 100 units at the 5,000 unit price. You'd prove demand on Amazon, and then you'd quickly reorder, and you'd have the least amount of risk with the highest amount of reward, right? So they're going to give you a 500 unit price, maybe it's $3 each, and then the 5,000 unit price, maybe it's $1 each. And so the rest of the conversation, right, you're going to be pounding into their head that you want that $1 price, but you want to do a test order for 500 units just this one time, but you'd want them to honor that 5,000 unit price. So just trust me on this. Get both price. And so talking about lead time, so this is for inventory forecasting later down the line, but how long will it take to manufacture and package 500 and 5,000 units, right? So this is usually, 15 to 30 days, depending on how many you're getting. So yeah, I'd be grateful for you to contact us. There's the answers. Please be as thorough as you can with your initial answers, as they will be a large determinant of the manufacturer you select to partner with. So I include this because usually they'll give you one-word answers because they're responding to 10 to 20 of these a day. So ask them to take a little bit extra time, right? Because it's definitely a good showing of faith that they actually care about you and they care about their work and things like that. One other thing I like to do is have them add you on Skype. I really don't like communicating via the Alibaba portal, right? Because a lot of us have other business that we're doing on Skype anyways. So I usually say I will not respond via Alibaba, right? And this is another way for you to kind of test if they're actually paying attention. They have attention to detail, which is something that's super important for manufacturers. So it's just another little thing that I've learned to do. And this template is available in our Facebook page. So if you guys want to just use this exact one, feel free to just go down into the description and join our Facebook page, and we have all of this available and so much more for free for you guys. So let's go ahead and copy and paste this, and we'll head into our first manufacturer. These are just the product pages. So this is the contact page, right? And just paste it in. And then I'm going to add that attachment. So where's that lava lamp? That would be this. Right, and this is my actual Alibaba account, so I'm not going to send these because I don't actually want to sell lava lamps. But right, it would be the same process. So you just go into here, right, contact supplier, it opens up this page, paste in the exact same thing, add the attachment of the photo, and that's pretty much it, guys. You are done there. So the last thing that I want to talk about is payment, right? Everybody always asks, how can you pay in a way that suppliers will accept and that gives you the most protection, right? So the answer to that is normally payments are split up into an initial payment of 30%, a down payment, which basically kicks off the manufacturing. They start their work, and then once they're done, then you're expected to pay the 70%. So listen to this carefully, guys. I wish somebody would have told me what I'm about to tell you because it's super important. 30% and samples, always pay with PayPal. Do it goods and services, and pay that goods and services fee with a credit card, not your bank balance. Be absolutely sure that you are paying that 30% and the sample fees with a credit card, not your bank balance. Right? Like I'm not gonna repeat myself a third time, but please, if you're gonna listen to anything I say this entire video, just listen to that, because you can dispute things with your credit card companies, and it just gives you so much more protection. And I cannot stress enough how worth the extra 3% that is if you ever run into any type of trouble. So just trust me on that. 30%, always with PayPal, always with a credit card, right? And so the 70%, normally this is done with a bank wire transfer, right? Because it's not fair to the manufacturers in all cases because they get charged super exorbitant fees for PayPal over in China. So most places will let you, especially for a first relationship, pay with PayPal for the 30%, but the 70% is normally done via wire transfer. So you can set this up with a bank, right? Any bank, you can pretty much do it online. Normally the fees range between $25 and $40 to send a wire transfer. And the thing to be sure of when you're doing that, guys, is that you have to get an inspection done before you pay that 70%, right? And you want a thorough inspection. And so we have lists of the inspection services that we use, and we've had amazing success with. They're giving you 150-page reports with a bunch of HD pictures and all of their different notes and any small quality errors and all the different packaging. They'll count the number of units. It's beautiful, right? And that's only $99, right, with the people we use. So if you guys are interested in that, head over to the Facebook group, and we will definitely be happy to share who we are using for our inspection company. So PayPal for the 30%, wire transfer for the 70%, and then before you pay that 70%, make sure you get your inspection done. And what we like to do, guys, with suppliers is set just like a super simple purchase agreement before we agree to, go into business with them. And what we say is, if the inspection fails as determined by us, the buyer, then it will be on the seller, so the manufacturer on Alibaba, to pay for a reinspection. And that's actually come into play with us a couple times, right? Because if it fails, determined by us, if there's too many quality errors, then they basically have to fix it all, and then they have to pay for it to be reinspected. So they're going to make damn sure that there's no more errors again. And it's really worked out really well for us, guys. So those are pretty much all of my tips for suppliers. If you're watching to this point, I promise you I've saved you probably 100 hours of pain and potentially, thousands and thousands of dollars that you could have potentially missed out on. So I hope that was helpful, guys. Alright, guys, I hope that was helpful in how to navigate Alibaba, how to do your manufacturer research the right way, how to save time, how to represent yourself in a way that your manufacturer is actually going to spend time on you, make sure that they're going to present their best products and their best prices to you, how to protect yourself, how to make sure that your money's safe, how to do things the right way, make sure you're getting inspections. Right, and so make sure that you're checking out my other videos, guys. I'm doing this all for you. Make sure you're checking out our Facebook group, right? I mean, there's so much information in there. There's a ton of great sellers doing thousands and thousands of dollars a day, sharing all of their hints and tricks and tips. So just make sure you check it out. I promise you guys are going to like it. If you enjoyed it, make sure that you subscribe, because we're going to keep bringing you the absolute best content, guys. And for bonus material about how I use Photoshop to save $10,000 on my very first order on Alibaba, definitely make sure you comment below and you hit me up, guys, because I want to talk to you. All right, until next time, we'll see you later.